Hey, good Friday afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majeski back with you here in the North Georgia Majestic Weather Studios with your weather update here on your June 20th, 2025. Now, before we get going, first, we always like to say thank you and welcome aboard any new followers here on the page. And if you're not yet officially a follower, please give our main Facebook page a like. And if you happen to be watching over on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future updates. Well, the weather story has definitely moved on from all that wet and rainy weather. Now we're going to be talking about a lot of heat and hot weather and how long is that going to be sticking around. So we'll give you an update here on the latest conditions that what we're expecting through the weekend and into early next week. So let's go ahead and dive into this, shall we? As we go ahead and take a live look up there at Brasstown Bald. We do have some clouds around out there for today. A little residual moisture left over from the atmosphere from the wet pattern we've been in. But I think this is really going to be clearing out. We're going to be seeing a lot more sunshine here through the weekend. Looking over toward Helen, probably going to be very busy this weekend. I got a funny feeling a lot of folks are going to be doing a little tubing this weekend, get away from the heat. I actually posted a little joke on the Facebook page. If you want to check it out, it's pretty funny. Kind of making fun of the tubing just a little bit, but I think it's going to be very busy here in Helen. That's for sure here for this weekend. As you can see, folks are already kind of getting out there right now. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look right now at the radar. We're quiet. I expect it to remain that way, not only through the weekend, but really for most of next week. Rain chances are going to be pretty limited at best. Obviously, when you get this kind of heat, you never know when you might get a stray shower or two, but it's really, really low. It's going to stay that way all weekend. Seeing a little bit of rain shower activity over here toward Mississippi and over toward Alabama. This old frontal boundary in here, it's going to wash itself out. Not going to have to worry about it as we're going to see high pressure really starting to envelop the area, not only at the surface, but the upper levels as well. It's going to be quite hot and quite steamy. All right, let's look at your regional satellite imagery. Again, we're kind of getting away from the clouds. We had some pretty decent fog this morning across portions of Tennessee and Alabama, and it's slowly clearing on out. Again, we just got some residual moisture kind of stuck at the mid-levels, but that's going to be drying out. It really is, and it's going to be kind of setting up for some very hot and steamy weather, especially as we go in toward the middle of next week. Now, what we're looking at here is the latest high-resolution model here, the NAM model here, intermediate model, I should say. As you can see, it's still kind of set up a few showers here across Alabama and Georgia. I will say that the dew points are higher here in Alabama. I'm going to show you that here in a second as compared to Georgia. So that does not surprise me that it's setting up a few isolated showers over into that area. But again, any rain that pops up this weekend, folks, is going to be extremely limited. And if you do get it wet, just consider yourself winning the rain lottery. That's what I like to refer to as. All right, let's go look at the high resolution. We'll talk about the high temperatures here. This is going into your Saturday. Look at all this purple out here, boy. You can talk about temperatures well into the 90s here, even down toward metro Atlanta, get a 90s. We'll get a little bit of saving grace up at the higher elevations a little bit. You know, you go up by every 1,000 feet. That's about 3 degrees drop in temperature. So you get a little bit of elevation in the higher mountains. You'll cool off a little bit, but generally going to be seeing building heat here all across the southeast. The other part of the equation is the moisture in the air. Check out these dew points. These are dew points here in the 70s. This is air you could wear. You notice the green here in the 50s and even across North Georgia a little bit. So we get a little bit of a reprieve across our area as compared to, say, over toward Mississippi and Alabama where dew points are sitting in the 70s. So that's like 76 and 70 over here, 74. So it definitely makes a big difference. The humidity, the dew point, the higher the dew point, the more uncomfortable it's going to feel. And these dew points are expected to come up as we go in next week. And that's why I do expect some heat advisories to be coming to fruition as we go into next week. So just be warned, it's probably coming to include a lot of North Georgia as well. So let's go ahead and look at your forecast maps here. And the big thing is going to be the lack of anything going on here on our forecast period as we go ahead into this weekend. This is going to your Saturday. Obviously, you see the high pressure there here across the mid-Atlantic, kind of building across the southeast. No green there, no limited rain chances. That's looking pretty quiet going all weekend long. So Saturday, Sunday looking pretty good, staying hot and dry. As we go to next week, you notice the green coming back on the map here as we go into Monday and Tuesday and then Wednesday. There it finally sneaks into North Georgia. But even then, I'm only keeping it at about 20% here going into Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday of next week. So looking very limited here across those 3 days. So again, very limited rain chances and temperatures are going to be in the mid-90s like in the Gainesville area. You'll get a little bit of reprieve if you got some elevation, but that's going to be about it. It's going to be very hot and steamy all across most of North Georgia. All right, so here we go with your forecast here for Gainesville. Very similar to today's forecast, 90 and 68. That's fairly close to normal. Normal high 87, 88, so maybe just a little above average there. Sunny skies there in Gainesville. Morning lows tomorrow, generally here in the middle 60s to around 70 degrees there. A little bit cooler up in the mountains, obviously. 66 at Calhoun, Summerville 66, Atlanta at 71. Winds near calm here for tonight. Daytime highs tomorrow, a lot of 90s on this map. 90 in Gainesville, 92 in Dalton, 92 in Calhoun, 87 up in Hiawassee. So again, these 90s will be the trend. They're going to be inching upward here, and it's just going to be plenty hot going into next week. Check out Nashville and Memphis. They're already at 96 here for your Saturday. Again, they got the heat advisories in effect up to that way. 95 in Jackson, some scatter storms along the Gulf Coast. Par for the course there. 93 over in Columbia, 91 over into Charlotte. All right, how about the 7-day? Again, you can see the temperatures climbing. 92, 94, 96. So we're just warming right up and going into Tuesday. Overnight lows very muggy in the 70s here. Again, rain chances. I guess I could put 20% there on Wednesday if I want to, but just keep in mind, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, it's going to be very hot there, very steamy. And even if we do have a rain chance of 20%, it's going to be pretty limited. So again, we'll have to watch that closely. It could change a little bit as we get toward the end of the week, but it looks like this hot and above normal temperature weather not only will I think will continue into most of next week, I think it's probably going to linger into early July, and then there's some indications maybe the pattern will change a little bit. Then hopefully we're not getting set into a prolonged heat wave period. I don't think that's going to be the case here, but for right now, it looks like we're going to stay hot with above normal temperatures really going into the early portion of July. So it was very wet and rainy spring. And of course, for every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction. We're going to go from too wet to too dry. So the way it goes. So probably going to need a couple more days for my yard to dry out. Hopefully by Sunday, I can get out there and cut the grass, and I'll probably have to weed whack it down a little bit just to kind of get it down a little bit. So hopefully you folks who've been putting off your yard work because of all the wet and rainy weather, you'll be able to get it done this weekend. Just make sure you stay hydrated and take breaks if you get a little hot outside. We don't want you having any kind of heat exhaustion out there. Again, I appreciate everybody helping us with our rebuild. It's going slowly. Hopefully I'll get some additional advertising money here to get it going here. We're coming up on 3,000. Should hit that this weekend. And again, we got to get back to 10,000 to get to Facebook professional status, which hopefully we'll get by the first week in August. And then we'll kind of go from there, okay? A little bit at a time. Again, we got to grow the Facebook followers because we need that for advertisers. The more numbers we have, the better for advertisers and sponsors. We get the advertisers and sponsors, we can upgrade our weather equipment and our gear, and eventually we'll set up that 24-hour weather channel that I want to set up here for North Georgia. But I can't do it without building the audience and building the brand first. So I need you guys' help to help us in that department. All right, that's your weekend forecast. You guys take it easy. Be good, stay safe, and we'll see you next week. You guys have a great and safe weekend. Bye-bye.